Okay, question 4, you can find the information on pages 169 to 172. We're looking at shares and dividends. So he needs to raise some capital to keep his business going, to add services. So he creates 500 shares in his business and proposes to keep 300. So the percentage of the business that he continues to own is 60%. He sells the remaining shares at a market value of 23, so there are 200, and he does that. So you end up with, he raises $4,600 to invest into the business. In the first year or the following year of business, he makes a profit of this much. How much is he entitled to? He is entitled to 60% of it, assuming that he shares the profit entirely. So we enter 14,370 times 0.6 into our calculator, and he is entitled to $8,622. Profits per share, it's two ways you can do it. You can either work out how much each share is worth using this amount and his 300, or the total profit divided by the total number of shares. So I'm going to do it that way. So the total profit per share is $28.74. Now it is $24.74 because you don't take into account how much they paid for the shares initially. To calculate your price to earnings, you take the current share price, which we'll assume hasn't changed, and divide it by the amount of profit. Which gives us a ratio of 0.80. Another company offers this. The better investment is Luther's business. Luther's is a better investment because his is the lower. Is the lower ratio, and that can be found in these pages there as to why. The next part is, so most companies don't choose to share the entire profit, but instead reinvest some. So if we say Luther decides to reinvest $10,000 into the business, and the rest of the dividends, we then go, what are the dividends per share? So we have to work out how much will be shared overall and divided by the total number of shares. So that would be $8.74. And then to work out the dividend yield, you work out using this formula here, the dividend divided by the current share price times by 100, so we end up with and gives us a percentage yield of 38%. Remember units in this. So we've got percentage, we've got dollar signs throughout. Make sure you include those so that you don't lose marks for units.